A very good morning to all of you. I wish that you are fine and doing well. Students, I am continuing with the same chapter, and this chapter will get over today. And students, in last video also, we learned that when British they annexed most of the territories in India, then they realized that they would have to enforce a proper system of administration, right? So we have discussed yesterday also that day to day administration was carried out by four agencies: the civil service, army, police, and judiciary. And today we are going to start police, right? So, the British needed an efficient police force to ensure law and order. Lord Cornwallis created a permanent police force in India. Presidencies were divided into districts, and each district had many thanas, which you call police stations. And in charge of thanas were darogas. Towns and villages had kotwals and chowkidars. Later, the post of district superintendent of police was created, and he looked after the entire district, right? So, like army also, like army and police also, Indians were excluded from higher post. In armies and in police, on higher post, only Europeans were posted or they were hired, right? Indians were at low ranks. The police was an effective force under the British, but the police could never become popular with the people because the lower ranked policemen were unsympathetic, oppressive, and corrupt. So people didn't like them. So they could not get popular with them, right? So next is judiciary. So before the coming of British, there was no common law in India. Indians followed laws and regulations based on local customs and traditions. In the beginning, the British did not interfere with the existing system and applied British laws in case of Europeans alone. However, as the existence of dual system of laws created confusion, the British were compelled to introduce a uniform code of law. As for Indians, there were separated laws, and for Europeans, there were separate laws. So that's why it created a confusion. So British they thought to introduce a uniform code of laws which were for everyone, right? So the Bengal Regulation of 1793 stated that justice should be based on written laws and regulations. Warren Hastings and Lord Cornwallis gave a proper shape to judicial setup. They set up civil courts and criminal courts. Civil courts were called Diwani Adalats and criminal courts Faujdari Adalats at district level. Higher courts were also set up at the presidencies town of Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. In 1833, a law commission was appointed to codify Indian laws. It compiled Indian Penal Code (IPC) and established the principle of rule of law. Rule of law means that equality before law, that everybody is equal before law, which was seldom practiced. It was never practiced. Students, the British had come to India as traders, but soon they become the conquerors of India. By the middle of 19th century, British were supreme power in India, and India was turned into a colony. So in this chapter, we have learned that how Britishers came to India as traders and how they could rule over India for so many years, right? So students, let's recall what we have learned in this chapter, right? So first of all, we have learned that according to the theory of mercantilism, the European companies, they were interested in doing trade in India, as Indian spices, cotton, silk, indigo was in greater demand in Europe, right? So many companies came to India to do trade, and this led to trade rivalry. And in this trade rivalry, the Portuguese, Dutch, and Danes were ousted from Indian market. Indian trade, only English and French were left. Then, after Anglo-French wars, or you can say that Carnatic wars, only British were left in India. Then British in Bengal, we have learned that how British, they started misusing the facility given to them to do duty free trade. Okay, and this led to conflicts of British and Nawab of Bengal, which led to Battle of Palasi. After Battle of Palasi, Battle of Buxar was fought between English East India Company and Mir Qasim, Nawab of Awadh, and Mughal Emperor, and these three forces, combined forces, were defeated by British, which led to totally controlled of Bengal with British, and British got the right to collect Diwani or tax from Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. After that, British, they fought war with the Tipu Sultan and conquered Mysore, and then Maratha kingdom also, right? Then after, we have learnt about Lord Wellesley, that he devised a policy called subsidiary alliance, and according to with this policy, the Indian rulers who signed this alliance had to accept British as supreme power, right? Then we have learned that how Britishers, they annexed Punjab, as it was very important state. Then Lord Dalhousie, who devised a policy doctrine of lapse, right? And then we have learned that how British annexed Awadh on pretext of misgovernment. Then we have learnt that how British started administering the annexed territories, right, under four agencies: civil service, army, police, and judiciary, that we have just learnt. Now students, I just want you to go through this video and try to understand the concepts and revise this chapter. This Saturday, Sunday, you just revise this chapter and go through all the videos, right? So have a good day. God bless you.